I love a good, weird internet mystery. Bonus points if it's been ongoing for decades and has a lot of history. With that said, there are a lot of Japanese internet mysteries that meet this criteria. This one in particular involves online users recalling a red soda-like beverage known as Spell. Supposedly, about 50 years ago, this red beverage was sold in Japan. Or was it? See, despite many online remembering this drink, some even recalling a commercial with a Japanese celebrity airing in the 1970s with the drink. But here's the thing, upon researching it, no record of this drink actually existing was ever found. Well, until some recent developments came to light. The whole thing is still very cryptic though, so let's start at the beginning. It all began with a post on the commercial search thread of 5chan on May 26th of 2023. This particular thread is a part of the site known for searching for lost ads, particularly more renowned ones like Hitogata. Search request. Possibly broadcasted between 1972 and 1975. A commercial featuring Hiroshi Fujioka holding a bright red drink. Fujioka-san apparently says something like, "Day 1 is bitter, Day 2 is… Day 3 is good." This commercial was mentioned on a radio show a good while back. And it now appears I've found myself in the labyrinth with this request. I think the name was Spell or something. I really want to see that commercial. So, to recap, the poster wants to know if anyone else remembers a commercial that aired between 1972 and 1975 that featured Japanese actor Hiroshi Fujioka, best known as the original Kamen Rider, among other things. Fujioka was supposedly holding a bright red drink. In addition, Fujioka recited a slogan, one that suggested that this drink had a very distinct taste, perhaps an acquired taste. It was following this 5chan post that a much older mention of the mysterious red drink was found on the webpage for a radio show called Sunday Secret Base. It was on an episode of this radio show that a viewer asked if anyone recalled the drink's name or at least remembered drinking it. The webpage itself serves as an episode recap and talks about what was discussed on the radio show, meaning that this very well could be the radio broadcast the 5chan poster had recalled. This was about 25 years ago now. There was this bright red drink that Hiroshi Fujioka had appeared in a commercial for. I remember spending the little pocket money I had on buying it. The taste was quite harsh. The product itself disappeared from stores shortly following this. What on earth was this drink called? If you remember, please let me know. This post was from all the way back in 2001. It also mentioned the commercial with Fujioka as well as that same slogan about the drink's bitter taste. In the answer to the viewer's inquiry was again the drink's possible name, referred to again as Spell, or Suberu, written in katakana. My unofficial conclusion is that this drink is called Spell. Keiko says they actually tried this drink in Kokura in the 70s. The drink tasted a bit like cola, but had an overwhelming bitter aftertaste. Furthermore, this radio show was able to contact Fujioka directly, of whom had no recollection of this advertisement or the odd slogan. The appearance of the bottle itself was also mentioned here, said to be very similar to a vitamin energy drink produced by a company named Otsuka Pharmaceutical. That name will be important to remember for later. This beverage, Oronamin C, is produced to this day. It's been parodied by video games and has also had its share of controversies because of its involvement with a pretty tragic scandal. Regardless, online users continued searching for any footage, still images, or further details regarding this missing beverage and its corresponding commercial. Just anything to confirm it existed at all. Some took the time to scan newspaper articles and advertising and even library databases. Books known as commercial yearbooks, which are compilations of advertisements produced during a given year, have been searched as well. Not a single mention of this drink was found, which you would think would make a lot of people just conclude that the drink never existed at all. But people were still adamant and still swore they saw this drink growing up in the 70s. There were some who felt that because the name of the drink was such a common word, it could be difficult to find anything worthwhile online. It's possible that the name of the drink was misremembered too. Perhaps it had a different name that was similar to or sounded like the English word spell. But yeah, some users were beginning to doubt the existence of this drink at all, concluding that it all must be some kind of hoax or urban legend. People just trolling, it's very common in the lost media community, unfortunately. Oh, but then... See, this is where it gets good, because proof of Spell's existence was finally discovered. Not with any advertising or paperwork or anything like that, nothing in the libraries, but rather through an archived Yahoo Auctions listing with the actual bottle itself. Unopened even. So not only was Spell confirmed to exist after all this time and confusion and lack of documentation, but an image of the product itself, still sealed, was found in combination with this discovery. The item was listed way back in 2015, so it's long gone now, and it was sold to an unknown buyer. The discovery of this online auction listing confirmed two things brought up in previous testimonies. One, that the drink was a red color, and two, that the bottle was similar in appearance to that vitamin energy drink made by Otsuka Pharmaceuticals. Moreover, a few interesting discoveries were made when looking at photos of the label included in this listing. Aside from a list of basic ingredients and serving suggestions, the drink was apparently made from Mediterranean plant extracts, so that probably explains the taste. And last but certainly not least, Spell's manufacturer is also provided, and as it turns out, this drink was also produced by Otsuka Pharmaceuticals. This Osaka-based company is still around today. As a matter of fact, that vitamin drink is still sold today. Did we say that already? Probably. The name San Pellegrino is also listed at the bottom, below Otsuka Pharmaceuticals. This is an Italian drink company, known primarily for its carbonated mineral water. So with this information, it can be inferred that Otsuka Pharmaceuticals with San Pellegrino produced this drink, likely in the early 70s, though the drink's not dated or anything, and ultimately the drink was discontinued at some point. But with lack of advertising or any solid proof of Spell's existence aside from this one archived auction, who is to say? In addition, San Pellegrino themselves has produced a drink that's very similar in appearance and presumably taste to Spell. It's not really conclusive and we can't really prove that these drinks are the same things under different branding. Following the discovery of the companies that distributed the drink, those involved in the search looked into Otsuka Pharmaceuticals company newsletters over the years and decades. In addition, the Oya Soichi Library, an archive that specializes in magazines, was also combed for any mention or advertising for Spell or just stuff relating to Otsuka Pharmaceuticals. And despite these continued efforts and this huge conclusive lead, not a single mention of this beverage was still found. The only thing uncovered was yet another mention of the drink's commercial, this time in a 2022 tweet. At this point, some theorize that the drink was not publicly released, only tested within select areas and venues. Though that would contest the existence of the commercial, considering the campaign supposedly featured a popular actor as the brand's spokesperson. That's gotta cost a lot of money and time, you know? Now, Otsuka Pharmaceuticals was eventually contacted directly by Japanese YouTuber the Tubero, and get this, the company themselves did not have any information they could provide either. Regardless, the lack of any archived mention of this product, even from the manufacturer themselves, is incredibly peculiar. The search died down following so many dead ends. However, in October of 2023, yet another remarkable find was made. Behold. This is a tweet by Twitter user @DenDenTown, who had posted a photo of a sign they noticed within a restaurant at a horse racetrack in Saga Prefecture. Now, Den Town did not know anything about the drink being advertised. The poster actually asked if anyone was familiar with it. The drink in question is Spell. With the advertisement itself listing Otsuka Pharmaceuticals as the manufacturer yet again. So with this discovery, it was confirmed that advertising was produced for this drink, and that said drink was likely offered at this racetrack at some point. I mean, it looks like it's been hung up there for a while. It was with this discovery that an interesting pattern became clear. The sightings and testimonies were all in southern Japan, specifically around the Kyushu region. In addition, the Yahoo Auctions listing for that single bottle of Spell shows that the item's location was in Hiroshima. While not a part of Kyushu, this city is still fairly close to Kyushu and within southern Japan. This could potentially shed light on where Spell was distributed. And this is where it gets a little more confusing, because it was at this point when a user decided to look into trademark databases to see if they could find anything. A user who had commented on the Tubros video on this mystery was able to find filed trademarks by Otsuka Pharmaceuticals with the name Spell. Same spelling and everything. Regardless, there were a few caveats. For starters, this trademark application was submitted in 1983, almost a decade after the online accounts recall them being shown and sold and all that. Furthermore, the product associated with this trademark is not a beverage, it's a food product. And yet another trademark was discovered from 1985. This one was for a beverage called Spell, but again, this was well after the reported testimonies. And it doesn't end there! See, Otsuka Pharmaceuticals would file a third trademark in 1995. So none during the 1970s, but a few well after. With all things considered, it can be deduced that a drink called Spell was sold in Japan at some point in the previous century. While initially this was a case of hearsay and foggy recollection, enough tangible evidence has surfaced to validate the claims. Now, as far as that commercial with Hiroshi Fujioka, a commercial that the actor themselves doesn't even recall, its own validity has yet to be determined. And that, my friends, is the story so far. If there are any updates and that commercial actually ends up being found, you know, you'll hear it from me, of course. The whole thing is just so odd and interesting. It reminds me a lot of stuff like the Tay World Monster or Celebrity Number 6, where it's not necessarily a lost piece of media directly, though there is lost media attached to this. But it's still a weird internet mystery with something lost, and this did end up existing, and it ended up being found somewhat. I mean, we found an actual physical bottle. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little Japanese internet mystery I wanted to share with you all today. More parts for the Nintendo Lost Media Big Chungus 10-tier 500 topic Lost Media iceberg is on the way, so look forward to that. And a whole lot of other stuff too, so, you know, look forward to that. Anyways, I am out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now, guys.